Doesn't matter, you can put your gi out. I just put my gi on for this for my gym and for myself. But then it doesn't really matter. I think also like the way grid shows, that you cannot be too dependent on the gi. Everything you do with the gi should be working also in the no gi and vice versa, right? One other thing, the gi, I do use the gi quite a lot actually, but you should always use it as a tool and not as a crutch. Right? For example, like I like sometimes to play with lapel guards because I want to be up to date with all the newest things and everything like that. But ultimately, if you do like stuff like worm guard and use way too much lapels, it's ultimately a crutch that cheats with the distance, right? There is Thomas and Niels. They train in my gym as well. A big problem, I'm going to tell you why I mentioned them in a second. Right? A big problem with jiu-jitsu is always there is a lot of feeling component. It's about timing, it's about feeling the right thing at the right moment. And I think jiu-jitsu is super hard to teach in a group setting. Right now I have a choice to do two things. I can show you a bunch of techniques and a sequence and give them to you, and it will not work straight away because the timing is off, the pressure is off, the balance might be off, and it might be changing 1 millimeter to 1 millimeter. Right? So I can give you a bunch of tools, but actually I'm not doing that because if you want a bunch of information, a bunch of tools, like Britt also says, YouTube is great. If you want to know how to escape close guard, Google escape from close guard and you will see a whole bunch of those. But what is always missing usually is the feeling component and the details, right? So I'm here to give you details. There's going to be some parallels with Britt's class, which I think is a good idea because he does things that I do and he does things that we do each other's things. Doing it separate means we're not onto something, like that works, right? So, my class is going to be about mirroring. But first I'm going to talk, Niels and Thomas, they train in my gym. So they'll also go around, you can ask them to feel whatever I'm showing, okay? Another thing, in the end, I'm here for most of the open mats. In the evening, sometimes I have to go to my own gym as well, also important. But if you have a question, you can always come to me, I don't bite. And I'm happy to explain it over and over and over again. Okay, one more thing. Tomorrow evening in my gym, Friday, 7 till 9 or till 10, to whatever you like. Me and Fran will open, we get like an open mat question and answer session so you can come freely over there. Just means you're going to be in the party a little bit longer. But you're going to be partying all night anyway, so you can go there as well. So it's very nearby. I will post the address in the group tonight. You're all welcome to join in there and free of charge. Just give me a like on my Facebook page and okay, great. So, the first thing I want to talk about is a few mistakes that I believe happen. I like to put my vest out a lot because you can see how the hips move. But in the end, gi or no gi, it's up to you, all of it, okay? Look, the first thing I want to talk about is the same thing as my class. We're going to give my last class from last year is a quick recap from this. It's about framing, right? Imagine people always sometimes used to have bad framing. Okay. The best way to test your framing is put a push-up stance like this. If you don't have good framing, you will fall on your nose. Correct, right? I know you're filming, right? So, yeah. Can anyone help me, please? Okay, please come in here. Okay, look, if you sit next to me here, inside control of the mirror, which position, I'm always going to be talking here to the camera. So, like Britt says, it's your responsibility to move around, okay? So, if someone is over here, holding a frame, look, right now the frame is not so good. It looks good, but that's always an invisible aspect. Look, what does the framing have to do? What does framing do? Who can this, in one sentence, tell me what framing does?
Make space.
Sorry?
Make space.
Say that again, loud.
Make space.
Who agrees with that? Does framing make space?
Keep space.
Make a rigid frame.
Sorry?
Rigid. Something strong, rigid.
Yeah. So that's the first misconception, right? Look. The frame is there to keep what you already have. Your arms and your legs are there to keep what you already have. It doesn't mean you cannot push me. You can push me away. Push me away, you can. It always comes with a price. The price can be if I'm awake and ready to move and I'm Spider-Man, I have a super sense and I'm the Flash and I can react always perfect in each moment. Every time he pushes, he exposes his elbows and I can turn in and get past the frame. That's the first price that might be to a bad framing. The second thing might be, if you do push me away and I was late, it will always cost you more energy than it would have cost to do it the correct way. That's the first price of bad framing. That means too eager. Some people are too eager, some people are too weak. in their game, and some are neutral. Always believe you should be neutral when you fight. Now look, when we're here, this was too much active. Like if you push, it's like too much active frame. The second one would be too sloppy in your frame. So frames are here to create and maintain, no, not to create, to maintain distance. Look, there is two ways I can move, always. My pressure always comes from my hips. I can push my hip in this way, and I can rotate my hip to the other way. Every time you're in a position, you only have one way to attack or one way to move. There is something wrong. It's always binary, or sometimes even more than that. But it's always, I'm either turning my left hip in, I look over my right shoulder, or look over my left shoulder and putting my other hip in. Okay? To learn how to move your hips, what I always tell, I never coach, when I'm coaching in the competition, I'm always coaching the head. Where the head goes, the body follows. So if I want you to put pressure on your left hip, what would I say? Look left or right? Right. Look to the right. Look over your right shoulder, and your right hip will follow. Always. And the opposite is also true. Look to the left side. Okay? So, if he has sloppy framing, it's super easy for me to start putting pressure on my left hip here. See, stop me please, stop me please. Okay, good. See, now we have a conversation going on. Okay? So, what is stopping me from turning in? It's the pressure on his hand over here. Now, if he only puts pressure on his hand, put pressure on your hand, put pressure on your hand, I can always start moving my other hip in, and now I'm past the frame over here. Everybody understand this part or no? Is clear? Yes or no? Okay, great. So, if he puts the upper arm, so if you move your hands away over here, please, move your hands away, and just keep your elbows. The elbows on this part of the arm is stopping me from getting my hip in this way. That's it. The hands, however, here, are stopping me from turning in. So now I'm stuck. And now comes the second big part, and the biggest mistake I believe people make, and it starts with a warm-up. Usually warm-up is running around on the mat in circles, and then people start doing hip escapes. Okay? Now, just for a quick experiment, okay? The four of you, please do a quick hip escape. 5, 6, 7. Please do a hip escape. Please do a hip escape. Hip escape? Whatever you think is a hip escape. Great. Hip escape, Joachim. Hip escape. Okay, great. Look. Come here, please. Look. So, hip escape is one of the most basic things in jiu-jitsu, right? But it's something you really need. Look, I can very easily stop or make your hip escape very difficult. All I gotta do is plunk this knee over here. So you do a hip escape. It becomes impossible, right? So what does this mean? Often, look, I always believe this, like when you move, you should always move in one vector at the same time. I'm gonna give you a very clear example of this in nature and everywhere around. Like, if you want to climb a mountain, go from bottom to top, right? You're moving in two vectors at the same time. You're gonna go, climbing a hill is hard, because you're going up and forward at the same time. That makes you very tired. So what do humans do to make climbing a mountain easier? What do we do? Sorry?
Go to the side.
You can walk around, like this, in circles, walk in one level. You make the upper vector a bit less and you start walking in circles. Makes it much easier, but it takes a longer time. In jiu-jitsu it's always like this. It's usually, the short road is usually the wrong road, and the long way is usually the correct way. The one of patience. Doesn't mean you never should be fast. Sometimes in competition, if you're 20-0 behind and you have 1 minute to go, then you break all rules, then you kick in the door, then you're going to use strength. That's the only option you have. But otherwise, you're going to be patient and careful, right? Another way to climb a mountain is go make stairs. Stairs go up, forward, up, forward, up, forward, up, forward. So look, if you hip escape straight away, okay, well, this is you climbing the mountain straight up. What you should be doing always is this. And this is the hardest part for me to teach everybody in my gym. It takes a long time, and that's why I say, jiu-jitsu is difficult. It's not difficult, but you gotta get some basic moves out of it, okay? The first thing you need to do is put this knee straight on the ground. Put the knee on the ground. Okay, very good. You can either make yourself small or you can make yourself tall. So in the beginning, what I prefer, you want to protect your head. So you're gonna move your knee on the ground here. Don't move your, this is your hip, these are your shoulders. Hips, shoulders, head, okay? Move your shoulders over here. And now it's going to be 100% the same thing as Prit said. Never put this shoulder on the mat. If you put your shoulder on the mat right now, so now your spine is going to torque, right? So you stay here on your side a little bit, look over your shoulder, and more, look over your shoulder. That's it. Now, more back with your shoulders, don't move your hips. Okay, that's it. That's the first part of your hip escape. Keep the same pose and turn a little bit over here. So move the distance. That's it. That's it. Now, when you're here, go back to this. There is two components to a hip escape. There is, one more question please, and then we're going to start. What is the function of a hip escape? Sorry? Make space. Correct. That's what everybody thinks, right? But I don't think that's the main goal. The space is a result that you get of doing the hip escape at the correct time. But the ultimate goal for me to do the hip escape, you have to first see the two components of the hip escape. The first component is the hip extension. Put pressure on your hip, please. No. Look, you disconnected your hip. If hip escape, did your life get better or worse at this moment? Yeah, because you expose yourself as well. I mean, right now. Right? If you keep your hip tight here, okay, get up. I'm going to show you to myself. You get side control. But when I'm here, put your hip on the ground for 1 second. I'm here. I put my elbow in, and I'm just going to look away over my shoulder here. Right? This try to attack me, please. Attack me. See here? It's super hard to attack me. It's exactly the same thing that Pete said. We don't have to try this again. We already did this, right? Now look, the moment I'm here and I'm impatient, and I try to hip escape, see? I'm taking pressure away from my hip, and you can start coming in and turning inside. Okay, now my life got way worse at this point. Most of all, I started exposing my elbow, and now it's when the trouble begins. Right? So, first things first, what I want to do, look, I always have to think, you have to forget about hip escape in terms of moving your hip. You've got to think about it in between putting pressure on your shoulders and pressure on your hips. If I'm here, this is actually an oompa I'm doing. The one thing that makes me sick, the worst that people do it, is doing an oompa or a bridge this way. They put their hip up and then they start turning their body separate. Is anybody here in the gym, in the thing right now, ever popped a rib? Who's ever popped a rib, right? I cannot guarantee, but I also popped like a number of times a rib, and the stupid thing about popping a rib is, once it pops, it stays out, never goes back in. So it's a constant reminder for me to do the bridge correctly, okay? So, what you're doing is, if you go up and turn your shoulders, you make yourself structurally very weak. Imagine you were an asshole to me right now. When you push my knees this way, I would destroy my hip, I would destroy my ribs at the same time. So always your body stays in the same alignment. Your shoulders and your knees stay in the same thing. And now my head is going to lead. My daughter, she's 10 months old, she's a baby, and she learns to walk right now. Look how a baby gets up. A baby never does this. And when a baby gets up, the head leads, and the hip follows. She doesn't even do this. She puts her leg backwards, and it says she gets up. Correct? Or no? Okay. So, the first part for me is the hip part, the pressure on the hip part. The second part that I'm doing the hip escape is putting the pressure on my shoulders. Now my hip is a battery to create power, right? And my arms, my frames, is a conductor. I can have the strongest hip in the world. If I hip escape with a sloppy frame, then all the energy will go out of it. Understand? If I keep a strong frame, move my hip up, or I put pressure like this, put pressure on my frames, and then depending on his reaction, I will move my hip. My hip escape is not to move my hip away, it's to generate more pressure on my hands over here on my frame and over here. Understand? The same as here. If I'm sitting like this doesn't exist. You're either laying down with your hip up from here far away, or with your butt backwards and pushing forward. If you're laying here, you're just completely unstable. Everyone understands this? So, what we're going to do right now, I want you to feel for 1 second the two postures over here. And you're not going to hip escape. The first one, well, I'm not going to punish you, but don't move your hip right now. Don't replace your hip. Put your hands, connect your frames, please. That's good. Look over your shoulder. That's perfect. Now connect your hip more. Connect your hip means don't push at your hip. That's lifting me. Move your own shoulders away. That's perfect, man. Actually, it's very good. Rarely I have someone who gets it straight away. That's really good. Connect your hip more, please. More connection. That's it. You feel safe or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, you're not going to get out fast, but at the very least, you're safe. You can stay here for a while. Fast, you only need to be on competition. In training, you can relax and you can use perfect timing. Connect your hand, please. That's it. Okay, a bit more back. Yeah, that's it. See, now I'm not in. That's the first posture you're going to try. The second one you're going to try, you're going to look over your other shoulder and going to make yourself small over here. Don't move your hip. Don't move your hip. Which hip are you activating right now? Which hip are you activating? This hip or this hip right now? No, try to activate this hip. That's it. Perfect.
Yeah.
See, that's very cool. If I would be like, your shoulder is still up, right? If I would be stupid enough here to start putting pressure over here, you can fill in the space more. Start lifting your knees to the other side. Put your knees on the opposite way. And you can start using it to scoop me up on this way. Just feel this. The first one, shoulders away, hip up. Shoulders away, And just don't push your hip up, just go more. That's it, I cannot get in. Now, when I turn in over here, block your hands, you're gonna meet pressure with pressure. Look at me, look on the other side of your head. Look over there and put pressure, oh, sloppy frame, you felt? Look over there, and that's it. And make yourself smaller on this side. And I can also not get in. That's the first part we're gonna do. So I defined my basic movement. We're gonna do this. If you don't get it, you can also go around, not because you felt it, you can correct people also at this point. We're gonna do this, and then we're gonna talk about timing. The mirroring aspect is just about timing what to do when, okay? Let's go for it, please. Right. Today, we're gonna see like on one part, and if I get enough time, I will try to explain the other part as well. Okay, look, hip escapes. Do they happen on top? Well, where does a hip escape happen? When you're on top or when you're on bottom? Then you hip escape. No. Look, if you think about moving your butt, it's both. Look, Bernd, come here, please. Stand up. Forget about hip escapes of moving your butt out of the way. Think about hip escapes in terms of pressure. If I'm here and I want to put pressure on my hip, I can do like this. Not that it's a good idea over here, but that's one thing. If I want to put pressure on my shoulders, I'm going to lean. I can step right backwards, but I got to put pressure on my shoulders. Right? Now, when do I do which one? That's the hard part, because if I'm here, Bernd can just step away and smack my head to the ground. Not good. And if I'm standing here, Bernd can just push me over if I don't walk, right? Or block my hip. So forget about moving your hips. Hips don't. Who didn't get it from? Okay, you did. Okay, come here. Come here. Look. You gotta think about side control and other positions like this. Look, Jiu-Jitsu is always about connecting and controlling space. Look, so here, look, the first thing I can tell you right now, your frames are not good. Look, I'm gonna give you a hit with my, I'm not gonna hurt you, but I'm gonna throw my shoulder to your face. That's bad. Here, you're gonna get very worse. Now you don't have frames. You could have as well not put your hands there at all, right? So connect them. Connect your hands and your arms equally. Now you're connecting too much of your hands, but you're not connecting your elbows. See? So connect both. Equal pressure on hand. Put pressure on your whole forearm. That's already it. That's very good. If it would be MMA, you want to have your hand over here. Who does train with claps? I love training with claps in the gym. You know why? It retains members a lot better. Because imagine you're the first class you ever go to your gym, and you have to fight with people, and okay, pass their guard, and we're gonna pass their guard. Do locks. I'm not gonna lock them because I train a lot more. What else can you defend? Yeah, it's also hard to defend. You want to have some fun in the game, right? So beginners, allow them to clap. Not every time, but allow to tap the hair. It gives them a mission. Like a beginner of 100 kilo without any experience at all is not dangerous if you're like a bit of an experienced blue or purple belt after a while. But let that same beginner put hand claps, and it changes the whole story, and it makes it more fun for the guy, and ultimately more fun for you as well. Okay, so then you have to think about this. But now, right now, Jiu-Jitsu, sports Jiu-Jitsu, you just connect everything. Okay, right now, here, look. If I start putting pressure on my shoulders, you gotta meet it. See, this is the mirroring aspect. If I start putting pressure on my shoulder, look, I'm actually looking over my shoulder. If I want to put pressure on this shoulder, which hip is giving pressure?
This one.
Which one? This one or no, mine hip? Which of my hips is putting pressure? This one or this one? No, look, if I turn in, I'm putting pressure on this side. Now, I cannot put pressure if I'm stuck on the ground. The ground stops me, so I always like to lift my butt a little bit. See, and now I can start putting pressure in. And if you don't react, I will crush your structure over here. In general, there is two ways. Jiu-Jitsu is all about structure and beating structure. There is two ways to beat structure. The one I prefer is patience and tiring the person out. Right now, you're not getting tired, but if I start putting some pressure on your neck here, or maybe get your gi and put some pressure, or even like the ultimate pressure is a choke, your patience will start to run out and you will start to react. Okay? So I firmly believe the first one, all things being equal, the first one to move always loses. That doesn't mean you don't have to do anything at all. The first part is always connect. I'm here, I'm boom. Jiu-Jitsu is not about moving, it's about taking movement away. Who agrees with this? Jiu-Jitsu about moving or taking movement away? What is it? What is the easiest? Look, in physics, it's every object is always resisting movement. It's easier to stop an object from moving than to move it. Okay? An arm lock, is it taking movement away or applying movement? Yeah, you're taking it away until the point where it cannot move anymore and then actually generate negative movement. Okay? You cannot actually move, that's why it breaks. Right? So that ultimately Jiu-Jitsu is taking movement away. And I can probably, because I'm more experienced and stronger, I can manipulate you a bit better, I can use strength, but even if I can use strength to do it, it doesn't mean I have to do it. Because how do people get injuries? Injuries always happen because you're so eager to get something, you move it too fast. No, you gotta immobilize, boom, and the person tire him out, and you should always use your hips. I'm gonna tell this one thing quickly. When you do arm bars, for example, never put watch on with your arms. Why not? Keep your arm tight. The first time I felt why it's wrong is this. Relax your arm, boom, I punch myself in the nose. So that's the first movement, right? The second thing why you should never do it is this. Pull back. It's just not efficient, right? And third, if it does resist, relax your arm. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, it's actually my fault. I should always connect. Now try to, I'm gonna pull your arm, okay? Extend, keep your arm tight. I'm gonna pull with my hip. Relax your arm. See, nothing happened. I can dose this. But you cannot dose your arms. You can dose your hips. You cannot dose your arms, okay? So, the mirroring part now. Look, we're here. If I start lifting my hip a little bit, I do this to get a hip rotation. How do I connect? Elbow to the hip, hip to the elbow. That's the first part. And my arm is here. I'm gonna start preventing her from moving over here. So I put my elbow here and I put my arm hand over there. I'm controlling the angle, I'm controlling the hip. Okay? So if I'm here moving, pushing you away, push back against it, that's when I can start getting you in pass. Because you escaped your hip. Okay? The moment to hip escape for you is when I disconnect my hip. Keep tight please. See here, try to hip escape. It will not work. Do a sit-up. I can also counter the sit-up. Just by doing this. This counters the hip escape. Sit-up. This counters the sit-up. And I'm always switching between those two. And always making you very tired and making you eager to commit to exaggerate on one side. Now, when do you have to hip escape? You have to use patience. You wait here, look over your shoulder, look over this. You can choose actually each one, but easier in the beginning to do this one, I think. So when you're here, look. The moment to hip escape for you, look. Try to hip escape now. Not work, right? Wait. So when I'm too eager to attack, I start putting pressure here. Now, don't hip escape, but put pressure on your frames. Yeah, very good. The moment I put pressure here, now you make a huge hip escape. Very good. Put your hip even more. Hip, that's it. Keep tight, keep tight, keep tight. If I get up at this point, what will you do right now? Very well. I'm very happy you didn't came back. When you're here, so I'm putting pressure on my shoulders here. You meet pressure with pressure. Hip escape at this point, that would make it bad. First of all, I put pressure. I'm putting pressure on my shoulder, which means I'm taking pressure away from my hips. I cannot put pressure on my shoulder and my hips at the same time. Well, not in this way at least. So here I'm putting pressure here. And the moment I put pressure on your frames, you counter it with more pressure. Yeah. Where's your strength coming from? Your core. It travels through your shoulder. The strength of your core travels through your shoulders, travels through your arms like a conductor. So put more pressure, please. Make a sit-up. And now push so hard your hip goes away. Perfect. That's it. And now the next step of the move comes. If I continue, you circle this side. Stay here, head out. If I come back over here, putting more pressure on this one, you move your shoulders away again. Move your shoulders away again, shoulders backward. And now you got space to put a knee inside. This knee or the other knee. Which knee you put? This knee or this knee? You can choose. You can choose. But what I can, this is very good actually. If you do this, where does your head have to look at now? At me or away? Yeah, look away from me, look away from me, look away, look away, more. Open your arm. Perfect. Come back in. But you can also look at me. If you look at me, you can use your other knee. This knee, however, if this knee comes in, it's a bit harder. Don't ever put it here. Because your knee is up, I can start destroying your structure here. And more importantly here, it's easy to push it out. I already passed your guard once. The odds are, if you put bad structure, I'm gonna pass it again. And this is the most tiring part of the whole game. So when you do this, you keep your knee on the ground here. See? And if I start going up, see, then you can start moving your other knee in. If I start putting in, no, wait. If I start going in, then you can re-enter your, keep your knee here, and enter your hip again. Connect your hip, and that's when you can start moving and scooping up, okay? Play with this a little bit around already, and we're gonna continue on this, okay? So everybody understands the importance of framing. That's the first thing I always teach in my class, good framing, right? And also another reason for this, Baron, come here please. Don't be this guy, Everybody, no, be you, but, but just don't be the guy who always push face like this and this and this. Nobody likes to train with that person. And there's a reason, and it does, the problem with Jiu-Jitsu is, bad Jiu-Jitsu also works, if you do it hard enough, you know. If strength doesn't work, it means you're not using enough of it. Like, I always say it like this, but I don't agree with it, but I always say it like this. If you have, Jiu-Jitsu is like opening a door, and imagine you lost your key. You always have to find the, you always have to find the key to open it, you have to need the key to open the door. And Jiu-Jitsu is always find the proper key in every position, right? But if you want to open the door and you lost your key, you have all the time in the world, what do? Sorry? If you have all the time in the world, for your damn key. Yeah, well, it does work if you're rich and you can buy a new door, it's fine. But if you, that's so, you're gonna look for it. But if your house is on fire, then you break all the rules, you kick the door, right? But you have to pay a new door. Like, you cannot pay for new training partners, so if don't kick your training partners, no, just don't do it, don't do it. Like, everything comes with a price, and like, I have a lot of problems with my fingers these days, with my knees, with my hips, and that's the price of doing it wrong for many years, and you reap what you sow, right? So you gotta be, yeah. I always try to use 0% strength on training, and on competition, also, until the moment I'm, okay, this fight is lost, I gotta make a risk. Sorry?
But then you slap people.
On training?
Yeah, you said.
You tag people's hair. That's a difference, right? That's a difference. Okay, so, what's your question right now?
The sit-up.
The sit-up, okay, look, the sit-up. So, in the end, look, hip escape, I always think like this, hip escape, technical stand-up, stuff like that, it's all names you put into something, but ultimately it's always the same movement. Okay, look, so here, hand on the floor, I'm gonna get there, right? If I'm here, this is a technical stand-up, right? What is the difference between this motion and this motion and this motion and this? It's always the same thing. It's just me getting my hip out of the way. Every time my hip moves backward, my shoulders move forward and put pressure. This is the symptom. This is what I really want. I want to put pressure on my frame here. If my hip moves back, I'm getting put on my on the back. Who does wrestler here? Is anybody here in the whole gym here who does not do wrestling? You should do wrestling. You should do wrestling. Right? It's the oldest sport. Like their science is better in a way, like because it's a proven system, but also because of this. Jiu-Jitsu, it's always easy to lose character. Okay, I'm gonna fight stand-up today. I know stand-up is hard. I'm gonna push it on my butt. I know it's hard here as well. I'm gonna lay on my back. The pass. Okay, I'm gonna turtle. And it always like an easy way out. They show, okay, you tap. But wrestling is ultimately very easy. Your shoulders go on the ground or my shoulders go on the ground. Understand? And it's difficult to do, but it's a very easy goal. So it has to make you stubborn, right? And the only position in wrestling that does not exist, it doesn't exist but that it's over, is you putting your both shoulders on the ground. Now I don't know the exact rules. I think here in wrestling is the fight over or no?
They need both shoulders to
yeah, but you could say, okay, you're losing the fight, but you're gonna fight for every inch. You're not gonna put both shoulders on the ground. Now, when the moment I push the shoulder on the ground, look, never do this. So if you're here and I try to bridge you over, you push on my shoulder, I'm not doing this. What I gotta do is a scoop, so that push on your shoulder. You're gonna make yourself small over here. I'm gonna use the exact same motion on the other side. You're gonna try to take this straight. Now, how do you get up? Using your abs. You're either doing this. If there is no one stopping me here, I can just go wherever I want. If someone is stopping me over here, I gotta put more pressure here. Start moving this away, and my shoulder, my elbow moves with me. If there's not enough pressure, I can also open up here and go away. What I never can do is this. When I get up, and then come here, please. Let's say it's half guard. I'm here. I keep the frame. The way I get up is just abandon your hands and put your hands over here. Try to attack me, please. Okay. Now we're going to talk another example of mirroring, okay? Let's say I'm a guard player. Okay, you know what Chris Houter says, when you're on top, stay on top. When you're on bottom, come on top. And if you, what I add to this, if you're on bottom, still always try to do on top. Jiu-Jitsu is about answer question and answer, action, reaction. Okay, look, the ideal moment to take guard. Put pressure, please. Look, only if he tries to keep me on the ground, I can easily take a guard. Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. He falls right into it. Okay? So, mirroring means he comes forward, I'm going to go forward. Right? Now, if I'm here and you just wait neutrally from here and I start doing this, what are you going to do right now? You can catch, we can just back up, disconnect, go far away, and now I don't have any information about you, right? So come here. In MMA, if you take someone down, like I always love stacking as well, because if you take someone down, it's better to be on top, right? Now, if you take pressure away from you in an MMA fight, they can let back up. Sure enough, you don't want to be the guy on bottom, so you have to put a question there. You put pressure over here, boom. You put pressure. See here, keep putting pressure, and it falls right into your triangle, or whatever, your close guard. But like if he starts taking pressure away, like so no, starts circling away, I cannot go to guard. I have to come back over here. Right? Put pressure. That's when you go. Okay, try this part as well, please. So the timing about it. When he puts pressure, you go to the guard. When he goes away, you follow up. Okay, get it? And try it. Go. Oh, sorry guys, I made a mistake. I'm very sorry. Come back. Sorry. Here. No. What I meant is this. I put pressure. If he tries to keep me on the ground, put pressure. That's when I go to guard. But I want to get up. So I'm very sorry about this mistake. If I'm here, he does not put pressure. Say connect, but don't put pressure. I'm just going to stand up anyway. Right? Don't put pressure. You get here. Put pressure. That's when he falls into your guard. Everyone understand? So try to do the identical stand up. Then try the same thing with pressure and feel how the guard turns in. Okay? Try please. Go.
Yeah, so my question is, when you have your bottom position and your arms are in place, do you wait because it's the other guy's almost turn, or?
Okay, look, in theory, waiting is always the best thing because it doesn't require any strength.
Yeah.
But look, if it's your better strategy to wait and my better strategy to wait, it's going to be a very boring fight. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you always got to be patient. I really 100% believe that moving first puts you into a bad spot. Now, on competition, let's say, you already scored 3 points on me, I put myself into a spot where I cannot wait anymore.
Yeah.
But the reason you got put in that spot in the first place is because you were not patient from step number 1. You were doing the wrong thing at the wrong time. You were doing either the wrong thing at the wrong time, the wrong thing at the correct time, or the correct thing at the wrong time. And you got to do the correct thing at the correct time. That's the only thing that works, right? So and it's look, and strength, flexibility, stamina, all those things, they can blur out mistakes. And on competition, you're gonna use strength, of course. And on training, every once in a while, like 10% of the time, I go a little bit harder as well. But 90%, look, I teach in my gym here. I teach every morning. I have 3 to 4 private classes during the day, or like, and in the evening I'm training again. And I always make a point of it to roll every class. And you're not gonna survive everything like this. And I train every day, Monday to Sunday, every day. I don't take rest. But when I'm on the mat, sometimes I have trainings. Okay, you can mount me and just gonna defend today. You cannot go all out of the time. And I'm getting a bit older right now, and in the past I would say nobody's allowed to pass my guard. That's not allowed. Right now I'm not so sure anymore if you can create an impassable guard. But right now I'm at the point where you cannot get my back and you cannot get my mount, but you're allowed to get here. That's as far as it goes. Now I do get mounted obviously, but I don't want it to happen. Now even, like let's say we're here, so you're gonna move of course. How am I gonna move? I'm gonna connect with you. I'm putting pressure. Like I'm already trying to get on top over here. And I'm gonna push you on top. How can you put me back on bottom?
By using this leg, or
Well, do what you just did.
by lifting up here?
Do it. Here. Right now, look, where you're putting pressure on this hip, right? Which means there's less pressure on your shoulders.
Yeah.
If you want to add usually the direction I get right now is the people start putting pressure here again on the shoulder. And that's when you start putting pressure on the hip.
Yeah.
And I cannot rush this part. Now look, you don't, in life, you have to have a goal, right? You cannot be happy just with you have to be happy with what you get, but you have to go for the ultimate thing. Look, you already passed me one time. Look, let's say here, I'm eager to escape, and I escape it and I put my knee inside. You think I recovered completely right now?
Not yet.
No, because my hip is not connected to you, my knee is connected. So what I want over here is to you really push hard, like with your shoulder. See? And that's when I'm gonna go away and put my knee very deep here. Look, the most tiring part of Jiu-Jitsu is the part right when you're about to get past. Right? If I'm here putting my knee in, right here, and I don't have really good connection here, this is super hard for me to recover. I'm better off here to wait a little bit. And in competition, if you do this, okay, he passes again, another 3 points. That's how they punish you, and it's a good thing, I think. Alright, so here, you gotta wait for the right moment. Okay, they passed your guard, that's on you. If they put pressure on the shoulder, if they put pressure on the shoulder, take pressure away on their hips. And instead you can start sneaking your hip in. Go all the way through, okay? Now another thing of mirroring, look over here. And once I'm connected, and just an easy example to show it, is always mirror the head. If I want to sweep you, right, I gotta do the opposite thing of what your head does. If your head goes this way, right, I'm putting my head over here and start attacking you here, correct? So what are you gonna do in reality? You're gonna put your head the opposite way. Yeah. If you put your head here, look, and now what people mostly start pushing like this. Correct or no? Yes. Who agrees with this movement? Should I do this or no?
Yes.
No.
No?
Look. Well, the idea is correct. Look, if I'm here, if you move away, look away, I'm going to move away as well. And I start attacking this arm. Now I create a frame. The frame can be beaten, but you got to really put a lot of strength. The moment you put strength over here, look, I should not be doing this. If I just do this, jump over my leg, and I'm just going to give the pass myself. So what I do from here, I move away. The moment you put pressure back, I'm going to scoop in. And now I start walking my head, and do the same movement on the other side. Understand? So actually, I rarely or never hit escape. So actually, the whole thing is always an oompa, always try to get up. So I have this motion over here, the hip up, and the person starts putting pressure over here. You change, you can walk with your head over here, and now these change direction, and you connect your hip again, and now I can get up on this side. Now if you decide to go back, put your shoulder on the ground, oh my hell, I'm gonna fight again, this means he puts this in the hip over here. Now I can do the second one again. Understand this or no? Go back. So, I got over here already, right? And I have to feel right now. Is he more over here or is he more over here? If I feel you're more headed over there, I'm going to be putting pressure. I'm not going to go all the way. Put a bit of pressure. You push back pressure, I'm going to go over here. Right? Maybe you do jump over. Jump over. I can always follow up. Right? So, what I recommend always, look, if you want to learn a new position, I always think about jiu-jitsu like I think about swimming. If you want to learn how to swim, what do you do first? What's the first step? Sorry? Get into the water. Don't panic in the water. If you this is just slightly better than just doing nothing at all. Well, and don't be too zen about it here because else you're gonna drown, right? But in training, first thing you do is okay, in water you flow a bit here, do a bit here, do a bit here, and make sure you don't panic. Second step is, well, you're gonna spend a lot of time into the water. If you want to learn a new position, don't try it. This is a mistake I made a lot of time. Your coach shows you 3 positions, 3 moves, and they put your positional rolling, and you really want to hit that one sweep and then one, but it doesn't really work because the timing is not there. So the first thing I always do is try to keep the position forever. If I can keep the position forever, it gives me experience. You want to spend time into the swimming pool. Then I can feel what is my opponent doing. How should I react to every movement to keep my position? Then, how can I use every position to my advantage? Then the last step, my opponent is, well no, the fourth step, my opponent is stalling, not moving anything at all. How can I bait him with small movements to do what I want? To do the previous moves he did before by himself, how can I bait him? The last step, the opponent is actively attacking, stalling, and doing the same thing to you. Understand what I'm saying? Any questions so far about anything? Yeah?
I like using the frame.
I don't like to do this.
Maybe like in the beginning of the class, you used to show the frame a little bit high, but like I told, like I learned from the BJ library, more like from my sons, like you said, like more pushing yourself out of a hole, just trying to connect with your hip.
Well, it depends a bit on the situation, but look, and also the concept. Contact, come here, please. If you're mounted here and come here, please. Well, I like in Fritz class, it talks about grip fighting, right?
Yeah.
Okay, look. So ultimately, think about. Okay. First things first, the first escape you learn from mount is the oompa, correct or not? Whoever used an oompa in competition? Rarely. You know why? It's a very bad strategy and I'm going to tell you why. Usually when I'm in mount, I'm 7-0 already for me, right? If you do an oompa, you get on top, all I gotta do is stall the time out and wait here for 7 minutes, I got head control, and odds are you're gonna have to move first and I can react onto that, okay? So, it's a bit of a pity. I think oompa should score 2 points. It doesn't, correct, right? Of course. You are on top. You're winning the fight. You know? in reality, they always say back and mount is the same thing. I don't believe. I think mount is in some way better than the back. In this case, his friend is coming over. Okay, I can get out and I can start running away. I'm not stuck here, self-defense wise. Now, what is your first thing you do in competition? You're gonna put your hand here and put your wait, and elbow inside. Yes. Okay, stay here. Okay, I can punch you from here. No. That's the worst thing to do. If you do this, you buy a few precious seconds, which might be better than just doing this. Yeah. But you're just gonna die also.
Yeah.
And one story I used to fight MMA, right?
Yeah.
And I fight one guy, Metin Yakuc was his name, and it was like, it was not a big deal in the beginning, but it was like, Brand is like a very vicious, difficult guy. He fight, you know Joachim Hansen, you know him?
Yes.
Okay, he's a good guy, right? Very good. But he fight the same guy as me, and Joachim Hansen was for 2 rounds on top in mount, doing like this, boom, 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 boom. The guy on top got beaten up, but he never turned his back, never lost. I found 2 months later the same guy. I was in mount, boom, boom. 3 strikes and he turned his back and I choked him out. It's much like if you boom, boom, you get more surprised by small bumps all the time. I'm not gonna say I'm better than Hansen, for sure not. You're gonna kick my butt, but in that aspect I think I was smarter.
I'm gonna put it on Facebook.
Sorry?
Challenge
But
accepted.
I mean, I'm not saying maybe this Metin didn't have his day when I fight me, that's possible, but at least the idea works, I think. Think about when you're doing boxing, you're standing against the wall and start punching, that's not scary. Scary is when they start picking their punches. Okay? So, if you put your frame here, okay, and now the rules say if you escape your hip, now all of a sudden if you catch one big toe of me and you bump up, now you magically score 2 points. But why? It doesn't make a difference, right? So, when you're here, if you start hip escaping here,
I know how we go.
do hip escape, I can still punch you over here.
Oh yeah.
Like, and this, like, why is, look, think about this. Which position offers better control? This, or me being inside control? This is better for me, but it's technically considered a guard, which is still a good guard. It's quarter guard. It's also do it. We're not always thinking about strikes, but try every once in a while try to fight like this. Like this. On training, I want to have perfect jiu-jitsu, and on competition, I want to have perfect jiu-jitsu for competition. Start fighting my grips. Block my hands. Just block them. Close my elbow. Close your elbows. Look here. All you gotta do. No. You're not blocking them. Cover my hands. Relax. Okay. Cover my hands. Cover both hands. And just put some pressure on it. Head on the ground. You're gonna want to maximize the distance between my hand and your hips. Now from here, hip up. Now there's one problem. You cannot lift your hip completely up because head is in the middle. Look to one side. And now put your shoulders more backwards. No.
Backwards?
The move you just practiced. Shoulders more over there. Head goes back.
Goes back.
Head goes that way. No. Keep looking at that side. Move your spine. Yeah. See, now I'm already out of balance. Oh, now I'm gonna post. Block my hand, please. No, like this. Grab my hand. Grab my hand. And now push my hand away. That's hard, right?
Yeah.
Move your shoulders away. No, that's your hip. Shoulders away. Keep your hip. Yeah, exactly. See, and now I'm already out of balance. See here. And that's harder. And now from here, you can reconnect your hand here. And now start putting pressure. Now put the hip escape. But just the problem is, on competition, this strategy does not pay off. It's better to escape the mount first, get the guard, sweep, score 2 points, pass 5, 7, and then I mount and then I win.
But this is also good for self-defense.
Self-defense,
Yeah.
and that's it. Like you gotta technically I asked this my coach Felipe Costa, right? I asked him last year, okay, how do you do the self-defense mount thing, right? So the first thing you should do always is I would keep my hands over here. I would not go here. Well, then again, if it's a person who does not know anything about jiu-jitsu, you're probably better off eating one punch and getting the hell out.
Yeah.
But technically, I should be here. Block my hands. Right into it, back here, see? And as I'm doing this, that's when I start making space. If I move a little bit over here, you're gonna don't ever turn. Turn again, please. This is the best spot for me to be in. Don't turn. All mistakes in jiu-jitsu happen because of rolling to one side. Do the oompa. So what I would do here first, put my leg flat on the ground, put the leg straight on the ground, and turn your toes that way. Yeah. Now the hip is active. If I'm leaning slightly over here, move your shoulders backwards and look over your shoulder. That's it. See? That's great. If I want to change the angle first, you move your angle to the other side, to the opposite thing. So shoulders away. So if I keep going here, I'm out of balance. If I push back in, you move your shoulders to the other side. And that's what actually starts bringing me out of balance. You guys are not sure. It's actually time right now, so. Well, I know it's hard for everybody to get this straight away. I hope that I convince you there is something here as well. Invite me. Thank you. Invite me to, like, if you're here, talk to me about it. We can show it. One more thing that I want to show. Thomas, please. Look, that's easy to get, and then we're gonna stop. Stand up. Look, about the mirroring. So get connection, please. Grab something. Look, I want to see people trying to pull and people trying to push. And when I push, look, I'm going to try to push you off the mat and see how his body reacts, okay? I'm going to push you off the mat and you're going to make sure you don't step backwards. What is he doing?
Resist.
How does he resist? Yeah, he's leaning forward, right? Okay, now I'm going to pull Thomas off the mat. How is he resisting? What is he doing? What is he doing? Sorry? Leaning back. He's pushing his hip forward. Right? Well, you're right, he's leaning back, but leads from the hips. So either you push him backwards, he's leaning forward. You want to pull him, he's going to do this. Okay, so what I like to do is I stay here. And the moment, look, I'm just going to copy. The moment you push your hip forward, I'm going to start walking with you. Right. Keep walking. Put your hip backwards, so you get this one over here. Now, if I'm here and I put pressure on you, right? Try to stand up again. That's when the exercise. I cannot force you to do this fast. But what I can do is make him uncomfortable over here on his neck. Yeah, if you put your hip forward again, and start walking forward again. If you push your hip backward again, okay. So, step by step, look. But to be one step ahead, you gotta be one step behind. Understand? Okay, I'm waiting here. Try to attack me. Being comfortable, and I feel it. Okay, your head goes there. I'm gonna copy him. He puts his hip in, I'm gonna put my hip in over here. Right? If he wants to counter, he has to step around. Give me the option to go down. He goes back up, you can push. So basically start from this, you get the collar, and he's going to wait, connect please, connect, here, and I'm going to see what his hip is doing. Put your hip up, I'm going to push in. Turn your hip in, no, wait, hip up, I'm also going to put my hip in. Turn your other hip in, I'm going to turn my other hip in all the time. You put your butt backwards, I put my butt backwards. And with gi it's easier, but with no gi, you can use the same grip, you show like, put your hip forward, and start, okay, that's it. That's how it puts together. So, wait for the opponent's direction and then attack. That's basically the idea, okay? I hope you guys liked it, that you understand it a little bit. We can talk more about this in my gym tomorrow. Everybody's welcome. Well, not everybody, maybe like 40 people are welcome from 7 till 9 tomorrow evening. We can do question and answer there. It's very nearby. We'll post the address again. Welcome.be, and that's it. If anyone is interested in a patch, I would also be happy to provide those. Okay, that's it. Thanks a lot. Thanks.